おい、ジョーちゃん、大丈夫か？
And we are on air, I think. Maybe. Welcome to Attack on Titan, final season, episode 11, 70 in total. I'm
we made it past 69.
Of course, with me is Shah. Later joining us is Sinris. And thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you guys for joining us again. We were both not on last week. It was just Sinris and Bacon. And
That's true.
It seems like they had some interesting feedback in the comments. I didn't get to watch their episode, but it was something like, of course everything happens for a reason. You guys just weren't paying attention. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah. What are stupid?
Stupid. Can't believe these clowns we allow on our podcast. How could they? So that was funny. Yeah, I mean, it's last episode and this episode, I think, were these two the official beginning of this arc? Because I've recently rewatched the whole thing since my fiance just got into it and we're caught up. So I kind of lost track a bit, but it felt like last episode and this episode are the two, like, the beginning of the current arc.
Right. Well, I don't know what the current arc is because I'm not a manga reader here, but it certainly has taken a gear shift down. I feel it's a lot.
Yeah, we're back to kind of establishing things. I think it's kind of clear that we're building up to something, unless it's not clear, and then you're like, interesting. Way to pull that again. Interesting.
I feel like we're building up to GABI either like asserting her assholeness or changing.
Yeah, she's asserted that. She is more than asserted that. She is currently trending. I wonder why.
Fucking GABI supremacy. Just fucking break that guy. Jesus. That scene was epic.
That was. I feel bad for that dude. He was just like looking out for this
like,
poor girl.
Poor child. What's happening? Oh no.
It kind of reminds me. One of my friends in real life, she kind of jokes that her kid is devil spawn because she's so like mischievous and stuff, and then I realized like, no, that's like literally everything GABI says. She's like, we're literally devil spawn, and it's like, you know, yeah, that's just kind of annoying. I think this was a good episode of like, there was a lot of things that happened that were like genuinely meaningful, but there were also a lot of annoying things, mostly GABI yelling about her internalized racism bullshit, you know, like mostly just yelling about island devils kind of being annoying.
But what did my mom do? She got born. Fuck you.
She was born. Like, fuck you. Just like literally that. And there's like obviously good reason for it. We understand, but it is kind of annoying just to see so much in like just in an episode.
Is this part of the like I know we keep memeing on it, the whole Attack on Titan is white supremacy, whatever, Nazi propaganda.
Oh, fascist propaganda.
Yeah, now the show is trying to cancel white guilt. Does that have anything to do with it?
I wonder. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think there's just like a lot of internalized, in real life and in the show, there's a lot of like internalized racism, a lot of internalized...
Because it's a lot of, it's the whole, white people should feel bad for slavery. That's like...
I think this is the opposite. I think this is for... I think this is like the opposite where like people have oppressed you and you've justified it to kind of cope, but you have to kind of like, brainwash yourself into thinking that that's like a good reason,
Yeah.
So like in this case, GABI has obviously, her way of dealing with her situation is saying, okay, these guys have fucked up historically and I'm being punished for their fuck up. So I have to prove that like I'm one of the good ones, even though like, realistically speaking, we all know that like no one will view her as one of the good ones if they're already so set on discriminating against Eldians. Like, there's nothing she can really do.
She can't be a good one. She can be a useful one.
Exactly. Like, they only view her as a useful one, not a good one. There's only so far she can go, and that's clearly that compiled with all the trauma she's experienced over the past like day and a half, like you know, it's not doing too good. She's not in a good place. You know, she's not being her best, but she's also probably being her worst.
Like what she says about Eldians used Titans for thousands of years and like colonized and were huge assholes. Is that actually true, or is that propaganda?
I think it is like half true, half propaganda. I think there is like truth to the fact that
because then like you could understand a Marleyan like still hating an Eldian for their past tyranny.
Well,
but then there's also the whole thing like you don't judge someone for what their ancestors did.
Yeah, I think it's the whole point is like I think a lot of it has been over exaggerated, but I think there is truth that like the Eldians were, you know, the dominant species. I don't want to call it species, the dominant race at some point, and then they're obviously not now, but like that is the point is like, do you help, you know, do you hold something against someone when they haven't done anything? And that was kind of the center point of the episode of, you know, GABI is talking about shit that happened thousands of years ago, and this one girl is like, what did my mom have to do with it? Why did she have to die?
Well, she was of the people who did it. Yeah, but what did my mom do? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? She's evil. You're evil.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that was interesting. There's a few other things. I'll probably just wait until Sinris hops on to just go full into it, but I think in the meantime, since we weren't on last week, did we want to talk about last week's episode, or was that like a month ago that we don't remember?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck even happened? That's a lifetime ago.
Oh, look at that good timing! Look at that amazing timing!
Look at that.
I could not have had more. I could not have anticipated better timing for that.
Did I do something good?
Do you have voice?
Yeah, so I was saying I'll wait until Sinris comes on before getting into what I was going to say, and then I asked Panic what he thought of last week's episode, and we were like, we don't remember.
And then you jumped in just as I said, I don't even remember last week.
Thank God I saved everyone from having to talk about last week's episode.
Here comes the Sunris.
Bacon and I on the last week's, we spent like 5 minutes listing all the ways that the episode was bad, and then just talked about Civ for half an hour.
Yeah, you talked about Civ. I think Bacon talked about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
We got some nice feedback on your episode, so I was like, I wonder what they talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we kind of talked a bit about what we thought. Nothing too crazy. What did you think of this week's episode? We cannot talk about Civ again for the sake of our comment section.
This week's episode is great.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you liked it really more.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool. I mean, I liked last week's episode probably a bit more than this week's episode, but I think both were pretty good and useful.
Oh, really? You liked it?
Yeah, I liked last week's episode, but I do think... Okay, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I do get the impression from last week's episode and this week's episode that it's definitely a bunch of, like, you know, it feels like a bunch of scenes put together. And that is how it felt in the manga to a certain extent. But I do feel it's like, here are all these scenes, we're putting them together. They don't 100% flow for me. And I do think they're all relevant, but, you know, you don't get the same sense of, like, this whole, you know, a bunch of scenes flowing together that I got in Marley a lot, you know? Like, I don't get the same sense as, like, you know, the episode where Aaron and Reiner had the big discussion while the speech is going on. You don't get a good flow like that from these episodes.
That's true. Like
and I'm okay with that.
The Marley attack arc was very on rails in a way. It was very focused.
Yeah.
It felt like it was going somewhere the whole time. This is a lot of, I wouldn't call it floundering, but it's a lot of downtime before the next thing happens.
Yeah, it's a lot of build-up. And it's a mixture of, like, current day build-up and flashback build-up. So, like, you know, jumping around a lot. And I understand why, not like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it is just a different feel. So, I was down with both episodes. Probably last week a bit more than this one. I don't know. I don't know. But what did you think, Sinris?
I thought this episode was great in pretty much every way.
Nice.
There's the one thing I'm not sure I got about it was there's like the brief moment when the emissary from Not Japan shows up and is like, yes, the first ever airship powered by the magic rock that makes ODM gear go.
Yeah.
And wasn't it like a point in the last episode that Parody decided not to take them up on their trade deal?
I think they didn't, but then I think they were kind of forced to because of the war, or it was like they also weren't able to trade with anyone else. So I think they were kind of like, it kind of forced their hand.
Okay.
Yeah, but I gotta double check on that. So
yeah, I guess that.
But
that
makes sense, because that's a bit confusing. Where they're like, okay, so these guys are the only ones who trust us. I guess they're the only ones who can trade with us, but we want to see if it works. Oh wait, they're not going to help us. Okay, yeah, so that's a bit confusing, and that's where a lot of the like present day stuff versus the flashbacks can come into play and be a bit like, okay, what's going on? But yeah, I get what you mean.
I thought this episode was great, particularly for GABI.
Are you a GABI
she's a
fan?
character who I felt like, until this episode, she was kind of like balancing on a knife's edge, where she could either like develop more and become a really good and interesting and important character, or she could just like recede back into being angry at everyone all the time, being the only thing about her. And I am very glad to see that that did not happen, and this episode was really, really good for her.
Like, do you think she's gonna come around and not be brainwashed, rhetoric spewer,
internalized racism, all that?
Yeah, all that. Do you think she's gonna come around on that, or do you think she's gonna double down and, like, I don't know, bomb the embassy or something?
Well,
domestic
that's
terrorism.
What I was worried about now, but after this episode, I think she is going to come around.
She's starting to see,
which I think is definitely the much
ridiculous
more thing for her.
Yeah. This episode was really good in showing, I was saying before, it was a lot of necessary GABI screeching about the Eldian devils, which is like, definitely important, even though it can get annoying. But as you guys know, like, GABI has been a very contentious character. She's very she's probably the most controversial character in the series.
A little divisive.
Kind of saying so. Yeah, she's a bit divisive, and I think that's that's saying something when we have potential divisive characters, but
is that a joke about someone being cut in half?
What was that? Oh no! Wait, that's actually.
Is someone got to get like cleaved?
Yeah. Wait, yes, that was my joke. I took that. Thank you. Yeah, no, everyone's divisive. So I think it's pretty interesting just to see, she's like, she is annoying, but like she has such an important role to play in terms of like how the brainwashing of Eldians has been so deeply ingrained in them in Marley, and how she really like cannot cope with her current reality. Like, she's seeing firsthand the compassion of these people, and she's faced with such logic of like, stop talking about what people did thousands of years ago. What did my mom do to deserve to die? And she just really can't cope.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And, she's like the clear foil to Eren at the beginning of the series.
Yeah, she's season 1 Eren, which I think some people don't recognize as much. Like, I think some people are just like, oh, wait, she's annoying. It's like, no, we've seen this annoying before in another form.
Right.
Everybody used to say Eren was this annoying. He just shouted all the time.
Yeah. And I brought it up to some people who are like huge GABI haters, who are like, no, I just hate her, fuck GABI. And I'm like, okay, but what about season 1 Eren? And they're like, well, that's different because he's fighting against Titans. And then we're like, no, we've learned that they're actually not different. That's the point. Like, we've learned it's not different.
The entire point of the series is that it's not different.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because we see so many weird claims about the series when the themes are pretty clear cut. Like, they kind of say them almost word for word from the characters.
Yeah. I think it's hard to imagine the themes getting spelled out more explicitly than what the blonde girl said in this episode.
But isn't it a little bit different? Like,
is it a little bit different?
Eren wasn't like indoctrinated into thinking all of another race was bad. Like, he started hating Titans when they broke the wall and ate his mom.
Well, that's true.
He wasn't
didn't know that they were people
by like this whole systemic oppression.
But
regime.
I think on both ends it's the clear cut narrative driven of like
tunnel vision, angry.
The tunnel vision, like, these specific things are going to hurt your people. Like, GABI hadn't met anyone from the island. She didn't know them.
No.
And her first exposure to them was them like wiping out her friends and family. Yeah. So like, that was like, you can understand why.
But
she
her
felt so
friends and family
radicalized.
getting wiped out by the demons just reaffirmed what she'd already been taught.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you can understand like why she went off the deep end and went off the rails.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and that's kind of the same as Eren. Like, you can understand why he wants to go take down all the Titans because they ate his
now
mom
he wants
in
to
front
take
of him.
down all the Marleys. Like his goal shifted at some point when he learned that there was
Right.
like a whole bigger conspiracy in world.
Yeah.
And while Eren is definitely not the person now that he was at the beginning of the series, he does still, you know, in like the conversation with Reiner before the attack and everything, pretty much say that like, yeah, I've kind of realized like the folly of my ways and why my way of thinking isn't good or correct, but at this point I'm just going to keep doing it anyway because he doesn't feel like he has a choice. And that I think is where Gabi differs, is that it's like still early enough for her that she has the choice.
100%. And I do think it's interesting how in that one episode, so many episodes ago, it feels like so many episodes ago, it was like 5, when Eren was almost the most sympathetic to Reiner given his current situation, and he's like, bro, I totally understand where you're coming from, these guys did you dirty, I'm still gonna have to destroy all you guys because you kind of put me in this situation.
Now watch
I'm
me.
gonna do it to you, but I feel you.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Something,
child.
keep moving forward.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's such a good comparison, so many good parallels. I was thinking about this episode, and at first, when I finished it, I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Because not that much happened. Right. And then I, like, rethought of everything that happened this episode, and I realized, like, the entire point of this episode is kind of showing the impact of your actions on other people in different ways. So it starts off with, I think...
The first impact was a brick.
Yeah, the first was a brick. Yeah, that was a great... Thank you for making that mini intro panic. That looks great. Great, Gabby. That's really fun. I've been, like, staring at it, and I'm like, wait, this is actually
She got
really
killed
funny.
by a horse. It's so sad.
Yeah,
she was becoming such a good character, too, and, you know... And she just fucking died.
Jane getting his revenge on Gabby.
That's hilarious.
That's great. I was like, thank you, Twitter. But I realized that, like, it starts off with, like, Hanji being faced with the town people she saved in kind of season 3. Like, you remember all those town people who were, like, afraid of
that was kind of funny. I recognized them, and I was like, oh, it's these guys.
Yeah, like, I probably wouldn't have remembered them as well if I hadn't just finished rewatching it, but I remember it's, like, in clear cut, like, she saves the one dude's son who was about to get killed by the military police for, like, you know,
right.
that shit, and they're all giving her the same message that she sent them, like, you guys said that, like, we deserve the information, we deserve to know everything, and she's in a tough spot, and they know she's in a tough spot, but she doesn't really have a good answer, and it's kind of like, you know, these are kind of the people you've raised through your actions, and now you kind of have to come face to face with them in a tough situation. So that kind of, like, started it. Then we got, I think...
Yeah, and I just want to comment on that real quick. I thought it was really interesting that the people weren't depicted as just, like, being pissed at her.
Yeah,
you know?
They were totally
like,
understanding.
Yeah, they were like, I'm concerned you might be doing something bad, but I know you don't really have any good options. So, like, whatever the truth is, like, I get it, we trust you, just I hope you're not betraying our trust.
Yeah, which is a very mature message that we normally do not get from angry moms.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that was really interesting, because, like, they're being understanding for her, but she's just, like, in such a tough situation, and she doesn't know what to do. And I already liked last week's episode where she's like, you know, Erwin, you chose the wrong commander, this is, like, way over my head, I don't know what to do. Like,
I really like Hanji.
I love Hanji. I do like, one thing I do really like in Attack on Titan is how they show a lot of characters regretting the actions of others that put them in positions of power. Like, there was a lot of times where they show, like, you made this decision, and I really hate it because I think it was a mistake.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's cool to show, because a lot of times they glorify these decisions, like, you made this choice for me, now I gotta live up to it. And sometimes it's just like, no, you fucked up. I'm way in over my head.
Yeah, like, I didn't ask for this.
Yeah, I did not ask for this. Please come back. And then the next episode, I think the next scene we got was Mikasa locking up one of the
Tiny Historia.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that scene, but I was very excited when I was watching it.
She locked up Mini Historia.
Oh yeah, she blocked up the chick. Well, I guess before we get into that, fuck Flosh. He's so annoying. I get the point, but
which
like,
one
I just hate
is
him.
Flock?
He's the
He's
bad
the redhead
guy.
guy.
He's the guy.
So
who
his like first big scene was when what's his name? Armin and Erwin are both dying.
Right.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
trying
So
to decide who to.
yeah, he's the only guy who
give
survived that
serum
attack.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the
He's
only
just
guy.
like
Oh yeah,
a
sorry. Go
huge
ahead.
piece of shit.
He's just like he's just represents the worst of humanity at every potential part. Like at first he shows like he's a huge coward and he's like, I don't want to die for this.
And
then
he's got a dumb haircut.
He looks awful. I hate
the
his
worst
hair.
of humanity, dumb haircuts.
He's got a stupid name. Is it Flosh? Is it Flock? What is it?
Yeah. So
just a
we're
Hanj.
also
Hanj.
Oh,
Hanji.
thank you for joining us. I wasn't sure if OniMaru would join us, but
hello.
we got a special secret guest, OniMaru, joining us again.
Yeah, secret cameo. I did not expect to be this late. I said like I have 14 minutes left in the episode, but then I missed a scene, and that was the after credit scene.
The after credit scene, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're all
what are you guys
good.
doing? What did I miss?
Not too much.
How did you like
Not too much.
Gabi's solution to being gate-kept in a prison?
Apply brick directly to forehead.
Apply brick. Nerf brick, please. Too OP.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't unexpected. I knew it was gonna be a breakout. I just didn't think it was gonna be that crazy.
Tonight there's
Yeah, shout
gotta
out to
be
the
a
end credits.
jailbreak. Said it too.
Shout out to the end credits.
Thin Lizzy. Oh my god. Yeah, that was raw.
Yeah. So you didn't miss much. We'll probably be getting to that, but we were just on the fuck Flosh train. He is the dude who just keeps spilling shit about the Eldian Empire. It's so annoying. It's like I get like start twitching whenever Flosh just starts saying like the new Eldian Empire, and then I start twitching whenever Gabi is like those island devils, and I recognize they're like both sides of the extreme. Like they're both sides, and I hate them both. So
Yeah,
Perfect
they're
for
both-
each other.
I've been watching this season with my little brother, who's a teenager and does not yet have developed nuanced opinions on issues. And he fucking despises both of those characters. Every
Nice.
time either of them comes on screen, he gets just like audibly angry about them. Existing. And I
I'm
think
on
that's a
his
sign
level.
that they're great characters for what they're supposed to do.
That's so true. That's so true. I mean, I'm glad that he's on the same page. I guess I'm on like the teenage boy level of just like fuck these guys. I recognize their role in the story, but still I find them annoying. Sorry.
I mean, I totally agree. Like I felt this episode, Gabi was just driving me crazy. But then I had to remember a few episodes back, we had the Gabi squad thing, and I was like, okay, all right, I need to understand where she's coming from. She's totally playing up the religious zealot role really well, but I have to remember that she doesn't know better. She was, was raised, brainwashed, kind of to believe this, so that she doesn't know anything else, and that's the whole purpose of this, is to be educational.
Yeah. But you don't have to be too loyal to Gabi because we already have Rip Gabi on screen.
Okay.
So we do have.
She died by a
So,
She
horse.
was murdered by the horse, so
Or as someone on, I love it. Someone was just like Gene getting his revenge on Gabi because he's always called Horseface. So I love that.
Oh my
So
I was legit happy when the horse was just biting on her head. I was like, "Yep, that's what you deserve. There you go."
Yep.
Is that,
that was
is
a
that
great-
foreshadowing
I was just-
for getting eaten by a titan later? Is
that horse looks scarier
perhaps.
than any Titan in this series. That horse was like devil horse.
foreshadowing
Like, no wonder she thinks they're
or
of the
horse
devil.
shadowing?
yeah, that's that horse from Berserk.
Yeah, that's the Berserk horse. Oh my god.
Just give it like a
I
half
love
human
the Berserk
face.
horse.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like right now, I'm just really feeling Falco's character. Like
I love Falco. He's such a good boy. He got
Falco's
done dirty by Eren. He got used for this. He just is trying to do good stuff, and he just keeps getting screwed over. And like, I don't know
before
how he
he
doesn't
went-
just slap Gabi and be like, "Shut the fuck up! Like, stop ruining our cover."
Shut up!
I
Shut
know.
the fuck up! Shut
Oh,
up!
I so appreciated when the girl,
Sorry, go ahead.
they were like, how do you know? And she's like, what do you mean, how do I know? You've been shouting about it the whole time you've been here.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that she's just like, "What do you mean? You guys have been shouting this? Like, there's no such whispering here." Yeah, sorry. What were you saying?
No, all I was gonna say is like before they went into the ranch and he was like holding her back, like let's put on a cover or whatever, and like she's just like talking crazy, and then my fiance just utters out like, he's too good for her.
Yeah, I agree.
That's absolutely true.
It's so true. He's just trying to save her, and she's like, the Aldean devils, and it's like, shut
Ben
the fuck
deserves
up.
better.
You're right, I do.
Yeah.
What?
That's Falco's name, isn't it? Ben?
Yes.
Ben and Mia.
Ben and Mia.
Yeah.
It's funny because my name is Ben and my roommate's name is Mia.
Oh my god.
Oh
Wait,
my god.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Oh my god.
we did
Oh
it.
my god.
Paths.
Wait, it was
Destiny.
all along. Oh my god. Please show this to her and be like, yo, that's us. Don't ask
Yeah, I
about
will.
your character.
I had to watch this episode without her in order to do it in time, but we have been watching it together, so it'll
Oh
be
my
fun.
god, when she finds out, she's like, yo, that's you. Character
Yeah.
notwithstanding.
That's kind of offensive, actually. Yo, that's you.
Yeah. Yo.
See that little
That's-
fascist?
oh my
Yeah, that's you.
Oh my god. That's so funny. Wait, that's the best development of this episode. I'm sorry. I know people are loving this episode, but it will not be topped from this real life reference. I'm
I
sorry.
think episode 69 had my favorite moment of like all of Attack on Titan, with Hanj just roasting Eren.
Oh, wait, she's like, did
That
you
was
just
really good.
He had
Did you just
his
tell
he
you
had
to
his
fight,
cool
fight?
end of episode moment where he's like looking in the mirror and like fight, move forward. I gotta fight, and then she's just standing there like, fight who? Who the fuck are you talking to? You chuny asshole! Oh, yeah, I like the hair. It looks like all messed up. You did that on purpose, didn't you? To look cool. Just roasting him so hard.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that moment was so, I don't know how to describe it. It was so surreal. Like once you see Hanj like watching him watch himself in the mirror, like when Eren's doing it, in the moment that he was doing it, it felt like, yeah, like an awesome like moment, dramatic moment. But then when you put Hanj there, it's like Eren's having an anime Chunibyo moment.
He's such
and
an
it's like-
chuny
it's like
edgelord.
It's like what I think I look like and what I actually look like.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's kind of a
it's-
Arrested Development kind of thing where like you widen to reveal someone was looking the whole time.
It's kind of like we've gone full like realism in the last 2 episodes where like you think you got your cool fight, you got your cool monologue, and someone's like, bro, what are you doing? And then this episode you got like, how did you discover our hidden plan? It's like you were shouting it. So you got some like nice dose of realism of like,
Weren't
you
even
guys ain't slick.
trying to keep it secret. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like Gabby would have legit died by now. Falco wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know because no one's even like trying to fight her. Like she's trying to fight everyone.
I feel like
And they're
if
like,
she had
dude,
like
we're trying to farm.
pitchforked that girl, then something would have happened.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for that girl. Yeah, so I was talking a bit before. I was just saying how like I realized this episode was like a culmination of everyone's actions and like the way they've saved other people and those people's feelings being reciprocated in different ways. So at first we got Hanji with the town people, like she helped save them, and now like she's kind of given them independence in a way that might not be super beneficial for the tough situation she's in now. The next one, after we got the fuck Flosh out of the way, we have the people, the Eren stands. Should I just call them that? The Erenites? The Erenites. They were locked up, and one of the people includes someone that Mikasa saved in season 1. It was one like the one rich dude was trying to like get his cart through, and she like saved everyone. And there was some young girl who was like, "Oh my God, Mikasa, my queen! Like, go Yas queen, saving us." So then she joined, and it was an
Little did she
interesting
know that
scene.
Mikasa is actually a queen, actually royalty.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, so, and that was interesting because we got to see a flashback from Mikasa's point of view of Eren saving her, but it was like not the usual kind of glorified, you know,
Oh, it
my
was
hero
pretty
saving me.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The POV of a
like-
scared kid like watching someone get stabbed.
Yeah,
Right.
it was like, you saved me. He's like, you don't have to worry, you're safe now, but then he's all bloody and looking like insane and shit. And that's kind of like
safe
the
as
same
can
point
be,
of
I guess, given
Yeah.
the circumstances.
Yeah. And it's kind of like he's saving these people, but in these bloody ways that are like not agreeable. You know, it's very disturbing, very, very psychologically damaging. I think
Right.
you were going to say something about that, Sinners.
Yes. So this scene, so I've been saying for years now since like the point where Attack on Titan started like quote unquote getting good.
You knew you were gonna get roasted in the comments after last year. It's like
I know, yeah.
If you ever need to save yourself, just tell them Tay's scores for Attack on Titan. Just like distract them.
Oh, I don't even know what Tay's scores are.
I think he gave season 1 a 5, so just say that and be like,
okay.
Is that better or
Tay gave
worse
season
than
1 a 5.
better or worse than Sinra's giving Chihaya Furu season 2 a 6?
Season 2 to 5. Yeah. Become a much better character and everything. Mikasa was like the one who didn't.
She was like, left behind.
Still exactly the same.
Yeah.
This scene is the first scene in the entire series that I have cared about Mikasa. And I think the big reason for that is that this is the first time Mikasa has ever passed the Bechdel test.
Without talking about Eren?
Yeah.
Talking to a
This
girl
is the
without
first
talking about
time
Eren.
Mikasa has ever talked to another girl about not Eren.
Well, to be fair, she almost never talks about Eren.
She almost never talks.
She
so
never says
she almost never
anything,
talks.
and when she does, it's saying Eren to Eren.
Right. Yeah. So this was like totally uncharted territory for her, and that's really exciting.
Like, what the fuck is with Mikasa getting like character moments? You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that.
Exactly. It's nuts, and I'm so happy about it because I've wanted that for so long. Because Mikasa has the potential to be a really interesting character. She's already a very cool character. So if that was added to her, it would be amazing. And it looks like we're finally getting that. And I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it was a really cool moment. It's something I kind of glossed over the first time I consumed this content, where I just kind of like remember the flashback. But, actually sitting down and thinking about how it's, recontextualized based on Eren's actions, it's like, she obviously didn't agree with what he did in Marley. Now she can recontextualize like almost all of his actions, even the ones that saved her, as like there's this really terrifying terrifying air to everything he's done. Like it's really kind of spooky.
Yeah. Love what you guys are saying about it. Like what I took from that scene when I just watched it, and like it was just like it was the first red flag of what like Eren's bloody path, or what he was doing, and like you said, recontextualizing. It was the first red flag, and back then it wasn't a red flag. It was like, oh, he saved me, but now it's like, oh no, this was bad all along, and I didn't realize. And like Sinris was saying, like it's like the first time I think in her head, like she's always been known for her, like even up until last episode, I think her undying loyalty to Eren, and this is like the first sign of questioning that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that development.
Yeah, I think so.
He's a hero. He's a hero like the Punisher's a hero, where you're like, okay, yeah, but chill out, dude. Take it easy.
Yeah, and it was.
I don't know if you guys went over this already, but how do you pronounce his name? Flock?
I think it's Flock.
I think
Floch.
I think I say Floch. I forget.
Floch.
What do we?
It's Floch.
Floch. All right.
Oh, okay.
So Floch, like in that scene earlier when he was like, I don't know, swearing by Eren and what he was doing, like, when did he like flip that switch? I know it's been 4 years, but I remember, he was really like eating Eren out, like calling his ass out at the end of season 3.
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like it isn't explicitly stated when he switched up on Eren and decided like, oh yeah, no, he's the good guy, or he's my king. But I think the implication is like, we kind of joked about it, but I do unironically think that like Floch is kind of supposed to represent the worst of humanity. So at the time, at the time, Eren kind of still was like, he was still almost protected under the guise of like, I'm special because I have the Titan. I need to be protected. Like, I've done all I can. I am right in saving Armin because I believe that he's, he means a lot to me, but he also is important. And Floch is just kind of like, I'm the average dude. Like, I still want to be able to have a right in saying what I am. Like, get off your high horse. You ain't shit kind of stuff. But now that he sees that Eren is actually like, his goals are to save their people, and he's willing to be the devil and really willing to like put himself in the mud to like make those things, to accomplish those goals. I think he can get behind that. Like, I think he's willing to get behind someone who's going to sacrifice being the hero in order to try and protect people. I think that's like what's implied. He was saying like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, finish.
Like he was kind of saying like the reason he wanted to save Erwin was because he was like, he was a devil he had to become a devil to try and like, he was trying to kill us all by like becoming the devil, and like, he's the only one who can keep saving us. We need someone who will sacrifice their humanity to keep protecting us. And I think he's kind of turned that from Erwin to Eren once he saw what he was able to accomplish and his goals. So
and at the same time, it keeps their own hands clean.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really good connection there. The Erwin, the devil, and now Eren is taking that mantle. Because his whole thing back then was like, oh, why did it have to be Armin? Why would you choose to Armin of all people to revive? We needed that person that could lead us to,
Yeah, to add on to the many ways, as you've been saying, that Flock just like embodies the worst of humanity.
I feel like that's harsh, though. The worst.
But it is the worst impulses of humanity. Yeah. I think that's what it means. I'm not saying he's the worst human. I'm saying he embodies the worst instincts and feelings we have as humanity.
Right.
And the worst haircut.
He's not like a super villain. He's just like all of the mundane ways in which people suck.
Yeah, he's the common man. He's the average guy,
But like not like a cool common man like Gene. He's like a bad common man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see how he's willing to just like forget whatever he valued or cared about or thought of things in the past and just like latch his wagon onto like whatever train is most likely to just like save his ass at any given time.
Exactly. Yeah. I
no
feel
conviction.
like he represents like how easy it is for like weak-minded, vulnerable people to be radicalized towards big causes, even if they contradict stuff that they've already previously believed in.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say, and you just said it way better.
Was his whole?
Thanks for the
This might be like sorry. This might be like a. I don't know. It's coming into my head because you said bad common man. Like this comparison might be a leap. But you guys ever watched Rocky?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the what was it? Adrian's brother, the uncle, the drunk guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was kind of like he's very like his feelings and whatever is very relatable. But he still represents like the weakness in us, like people, like just sort of so that Flush is that
right. Did they throw Flush in jail?
Yeah.
What did he do? Because that was with the little blonde girl too.
They were leaking info out, like confidential information, because that's the whole beginning of the beginning of the episode was like the townspeople were like, why is Eren locked up? He's our hero. And they're like, how do you guys know that? And that's like Flosh and the Eren stands were like leaking information, confidential information to the public. So that was the pretense of why they were locked up. But I saw this really funny tweet that I thought was just like really like, you guys remember that you remember the SpongeBob episode where they steal a balloon on Free Balloon Day?
I do, yes.
They turn themselves in and they're like, okay, time to do the time, boys, and like they lock him in jail and then let him out. So that's like literally Eren and everyone every season of Attack on Titan. Like he literally gets thrown in jail and let out like an hour later. But I think it's more serious this time. But I saw that clip and I was like, yeah, that's like literally what happens. Yeah. It's so funny.
Why is he choosing to stay in jail this time?
Eren?
he really doesn't have to. He said that in no uncertain terms.
I think he wants to
like could just get out.
His allies,
fight.
Well,
fight.
I'm sure, like he can.
Down to it, I'm sure he would.
Now that he has the Warhammer Titan, he can like control, like remote control a Titan without having to bust through the whole building.
Well, we know that he can leave anytime.
Yeah.
So that does beg the question: is he waiting for something? Is he just biding his time? Like, what's he doing? We don't really know. Yeah. But we do know he can leave jail anytime he wants.
It could be part of Zeke's plan. Maybe it's standby.
Yeah, because we don't really know what's going on with Zeke's plan still. Zeke has been like very much mysterious. Eren's been mysterious. Got no idea.
I'm like half expecting a double, triple cross, where he's like,
Zeke is actually a reverse quadruple.
He's a reverse double agent, where this is actually a plan of Marley to like have the Eldians think that Zeke is helping them, and then nah.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right?
Yeah,
5D
they got
chess.
a lot of like different players going on.
I mean, I'd find it hard to believe that Eren is now super trusting of Zeke. Like they just mended their brotherly bonds, especially since Eren has all the memories of freaking like his dad and how Zeke pretty much betrayed them as a kid.
Yeah.
He does have the memory of snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
That would be funny if he just says that to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Zeke's like, haha, I'm a reverse double agent. And Aaron's like, haha, bitch, I never trusted you in the first place. Let's go.
Yeah.
I do have to say, we did kind of mention a bit of last week's episode, but the Levi and Zeke parts are absolute top tier. This is it's so funny to see every time.
They fucking.
Yeah.
There's
so much tension there.
when Zeke is like trying to make normal like conversation because he's just like destroyed so many people at war, and Levi is like, I could kill you now or later, I don't care which.
Yeah.
It's like so funny. So
They're ready.
Yeah, it's so funny to me. I just could like watch them like snark at each other for like an entire episode and like almost kill each other but not. I just think it's so funny. But yeah, so then I guess the majority of this episode, in line with like, you know, the positive and negative effects of you saving people or helping them out, then we get the main thing is, of course, the girl who Sasha saved in season 2 has like now grown up on her family's like orphanage and is like really nice, probably way too nice to these like psycho kids. And it's interesting just to see how like the person Gabi killed has inspired such goodness in this person. And now it's kind of like, if I'm Gabi, beyond my normal bullshit, I'm already like, this sucks so much. I cannot see these people as human, and these people are taking care of me and are being so kind to me and giving me food. This really sucks.
God damn it, the food is delicious. They're the worst.
That was a good-looking beef stew.
That was a great-looking beef stew. And they got meat. Someone pointed out that, like, Sasha's dream of, like, taking back their land in order to, like, populate it with farms and stuff has actually come true. Good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so now...
That's awesome.
Yeah, and because Sasha, like, I've kind of made fun of how, like, upset people got with Sasha dying, and I thought it was sad, but people were like, my favorite character has died, this is tragic, and I'm like...
I did feel like I noticed the last name. Was that, like, Sasha's family?
Yeah, because her family took this girl in after she became an orphan.
Yeah.
So
They said something
like
about, like, Brown? What is her last name? Browse,
yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, they didn't look like the people who were there at the funeral. Was that them?
No. Now that I think about it, it was them because...
Oh, shit. Yeah, it was.
My realization was like, oh, shit, because she said, we got invited to a restaurant. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, they're going to go to the restaurant for the guy that loves Sasha, who's also a Marleyan, and now Gabi's going to be there to see him.
Fucked up that Gabi is there.
Brutal.
That's rough.
Gabi is down bad. I do kind of feel bad of, like, all the people you killed. You happen to kill the one with, like, the most generous family offering you food and shelter, taking you to get food. Like, that really sucks. Yeah. That really just sucks.
Like this, and even more of the irony is this chick saved them, you know, because she wanted to be like Sasha, who you killed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like actually sucks. Not a good look.
I wonder if Gabi even knows it. It's like, did she ever learn the last name of the girl she killed?
I don't know if she knows. I don't know if she knows yet.
I'm sure she doesn't know now. I'm really curious if she'll find out.
She will find out when they go to the restaurant and her Marleyan buddy is there cooking.
Yeah, I mean, because the Marleyan guy is going to know. Because Gabi can't shut the fuck up about the Eldian devils. No. So you know she's going to scream some shit of, like, Eldian devils. And
he's only been there for, like, 3 years. She was probably in Titan training.
Yeah.
Whenever he was still
and that guy's probably going to recognize, right? Because, like, he knows that Sasha was killed by a Marleyan warrior.
Yep.
So
right.
Also, would he have like a picture of Sasha just hanging up on the wall in the restaurant?
They go to the restaurant. It's just like tapestry of Sasha.
Yeah, they have pictures.
It's named Sasha. The restaurant is named after her.
Sasha's potatoes.
Can you imagine Sasha's meat? No, that's weird because Sasha loves meat. That's like weird.
Steakhouse.
Sasha's Steakhouse. Oh my god.
Yeah, there we go.
That would be so funny.
Welcome to Sasha's
restaurant. Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, that sucks. Yeah, Gabby, please.
Gabby,
So,
please get your shit together,
Gabby.
Gabby. Gabby, you silly goose.
I think she's on the route for a lot of rude awakenings. I really like that scene where, you know, she's yelling at what's her face?
Kaya?
The girl that, you know, it's your ancestry that
Yeah.
caused this thousands of years, and then she's just yelling back like, well, what did my mom do? And then like
Exactly.
Gabby can't say anything. And it's like
And yeah, because I think that's pretty much the scene of the episode. I think that's pretty much like
What did
the
my mom do?
The biggest.
That's not the point. Listen to me.
And you know what was interesting? I was realizing this since we brought it up. That almost is an exact parallel to the conversation she had with Falco a couple episodes where he said, well, we sent all these people over to kill them. And she's like,
I didn't see it.
but I didn't see it. And also, you know, but why does that mean that like our friend should have been killed? And it's kind of like the exact same situation of like elaborating that you should not, like, the deeds of your ancestors does not justify the deeds done by people who have not, you know, done any harm to them in present day.
And it's so good because they're making her see it. Like
Yeah.
she can't even deny it. And actually, one of my favorite lines, I think, like Gabby was saying what she was saying, and the other girl's like, "How is that related?" You know, it's like,
The fuck
Yeah.
does that got to do
she's
with
like,
anything?
"You're conflating two different arguments."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She's not even like, no, Gabby, you're wrong. She's like, Gabby, that doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with this.
She's like, Gabby,
Does
please.
not matter in the
Gabby,
slightest.
please.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so wild. And it's so cool to see because, as we kind of mentioned before, like, Attack on Titan does not shy away from the themes and to the point where they have characters literally saying the themes. And I'm down with it because I've seen so many people misinterpret themes that I'm like, okay, maybe we really do need them to just actually say the thing. So
Yeah.
but
That's too
them just,
direct. Like, I, as someone who watches a lot of anime where they just like say what they mean, I'm always like, after having watched like Monogatari and stuff like that, I'm always like, can't they? No, but that's not what they mean though. It's gotta be. There's some layer
gotta be
I'm missing. It can't be as simple as what they're saying.
like you almost like overthink it, even though they're like, nah, you could have just stopped there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely.
It's like-
a thing
it's like the
Monogatari
whole
does,
walk
because
me
so
home
much of the
gently
conversation
scene.
is just like roundabout bullshit that isn't actually important, but it's just kind of like supposed to make you see what the characters are like. That when they actually just do say the important
When
thing
they
out
just
loud,
say genocide is
kind of-
bad.
yeah,
Oh, that's probably she's
What do they
probably
mean by
bluffing.
that?
Maybe I bet she actually likes it, but she's bluffing because then
No, this
Yeah.
this has to be fascist. No, it's fascist. That's
It's
obviously
the
what
only
it
way.
means.
It's the only way.
And then we even get like I'm kind of compiling the like Attack on Titan is fascist propaganda folder where we got the guy last week when Sasha asked, "Why are you black?" Like, why is your skin like really? She actually
so
said, "Why is your
amazing.
skin so dark?" But she essentially pulled a Mean Girls, "Why are you
Yeah.
black?" When she said that, and he says because the creator of humankind thought it would be more interesting if we all looked different, which
there
is like
were many different kinds.
if there were many different.
It's a
kinds,
very,
which is, what do you think he meant by that?
diplomatic.
What do you think?
It's a very diplomatic way of putting it, and like dealing with that question. Because the real answer is,
Yeah.
the fuck do you mean? What kind of question is that, crazy girl?
But it's so wild because first off, we rarely get confirmed different races in anime. Let
Yeah.
alone we rarely get confirmed like people of darker skin colors of other races in anime. So then we
Yeah.
finally get an actual like why are we like
Yeah.
why are there people of different skin colors? And it's like such a interesting like, you know, wholesome answer of like it's more interesting when we're all different and we are all unique. Like such a like wholesome answer to the question, which
Yeah.
we rarely get in anime period. But of course we get it in Attack on Titan. Everyone's
Right.
favorite fascist propaganda machine.
That's
Like,
a good point. Like that moment in itself kind of felt like a meta moment, like just acknowledging, hey, we never do have this in anime. We never acknowledge it, so you know, have
Like,
Sasha
it-
ask.
Like you
And
often
it's so
have these
wild.
like people just call them like tan anime girls. It's like often it's like, well, are they just tan? Are they black? You can't tell. It's no way to tell if that's what they are.
every once in a while you get a character who's like kind of ambiguously
Yeah.
like black coded, but
Yeah.
that's very different from the kind of thing you're describing. Like Neru in Wonder Egg this season
Yep.
is like kind of black coded,
Yeah.
even though, you know, she's not like
She looks
like super dark skinned or anything.
She looks like kind
Yeah,
of
there's
Indian
no.
to me. I guess that kind of just
Yeah.
assumed she was like Indian.
I know,
Because-
but like her secretary very much has like black hair and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's confusing because like there's been some anime like when I was a lot younger like that characters that seemed like they could possibly be black. You found out that they were like gyarus or like
Yeah,
they were
just tan.
you know gyaru girls and they were like
Yeah.
they tanned or something.
Right.
But like very few instances, like one example off the top of my head that I can think of where the character is clearly black is Run with the Wind.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
one-
yeah, because
one
he's from
character in there.
Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's from Africa, and it's
Yeah.
pretty clear.
yeah.
You sure
and
he
they make a
isn't
point of
just
that.
like South Africa and he got a tan?
Because he has a line where he says, "Because I'm from Africa, everyone thinks I'm automatically fast." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's actually pretty funny. So
Yeah.
yeah, and there's so rare cases where they actually have a discussion on race in general. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that they brought it up in this series and they had such a wholesome answer for it. I mean, so
Well, and it also works well within like the context of the themes of the series because
discovery
so
is,
much
like,
what we're getting at is
realizing-
about like
Realizing how big the world is.
realizing how big the world is and like racial tensions really
Yeah.
yeah.
like between Eldians and everyone else.
Yeah, because we have also seen that it's not like the Marlians and the rest of the world are the only ones who cannot show racial bias. Like, as soon as the Marlians got introduced to Eldians, as soon as the Marlians got introduced to the Paradise Island people, they were
Yeah.
like started
Started
discriminating
treating them
against.
the exact same way.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
so
I-
it's
Yeah.
Oh, no,
well,
go ahead.
actually, like I just came to my head. Like even with the last episode, I got reminded that there are like races like are addressed in here to some extent because even Mikasa, who when I forget what Shizuru, like the island, not Hizuru,
Not-
when they
yeah,
came to
not
visit.
Japan.
Just call it Japan.
Yeah, no, I was like, this is Japan. And it's like that's right, she's Japanese. Okay, that's right. And I'm like, okay.
But she doesn't look.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like clearly different from the rest, right? Does she?
She
Mikasa?
No, like she
Does she have like a more
She's-
Asian complexion?
but she's like
What?
she's half Asian, half
Yeah.
kind of white.
Yeah.
Implied
Half.
Western. And
Because the rest
I
of the
think
cast
she
have a
looked-
very like Central European vibe to it, and everything looks
Yeah,
like Germany. They're all German. It's
Yeah,
all
I
a
think
big.
Make the point
It's
in,
all
like,
a big.
the first episode of the series
War
that she's
II.
like the only Asian person in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they thought because they thought she was the only Asian person, which was why her family was attempted. They were attempting to kidnap her mom and her, and then they killed the mom by accident. So they were trying to sell her to human traffickers because she was so rare.
Well, also out of I think it's in the eyes for Mikasa. Like out of Armin and Eren, she's the only one with like black colored eyes or
Yeah.
Oh,
really
that's
dark
true.
brown.
Black colored eyes,
Yeah.
black hair.
Yeah, very true. I think it's pretty. Yeah, I think it's a bit clear from her character design that no one really looks like her, and I think they all like notice too. Like they call it out a bunch of times. So, what do you guys make of? You know, what's actually kind of funny is because a lot of people think that, not a lot. I hope it's not a lot. I'll say vocal minority think that like Attack on Titan is like such a huge pro Japan thing. But what do you make of him saying that like presenting not Japan in the series as like money hungry, like money hungry, like I don't know what to call it, but like they're
Corporate,
obviously looking out for money
capitalist.
hungry.
Corporate, I think, is
Yeah, money hungry corporate. I wonder if that was like a shot at like, you guys keep working me to death over this manga to make money. I see
That's
you guys.
probably like a call out of this cynical
that
like
interpretation of it.
the salary man, people working themselves to death
Yeah.
nature of like business Japan, probably.
Yeah. So it's funny that like even if they have like not Japan being one of the like least bad countries, he's still like, nah, you guys don't get off scot.
But it's still
You
kind of
guys-
fucked though. So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
the lady freaking like licked her lips at the thought of money. I was like, oh, okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Can
from
relate.
Hizuru or-
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think that like I don't think Isayama is actually trying to say like make real life comparison, so to speak. I don't think he's literally saying
you don't think
but
it's a
it is-
scorching indictment of
Yeah, I don't think he's literally saying cancel Japan and cancel capitalism, but I think it is interesting that like even if you want to make the real life comparison, there's so much criticism to go around that I think it's like it's done pretty well. So
I remember when Parasite came out last year, the Bong
Yeah.
Joon-ho movie. He was like, It was like blowing up and everything, like internationally acclaimed and all. And he gave an interview where he was like, when Parasite started getting so big around the world, at first I was kind of surprised because I thought that this was a movie that was like very centered on Korean society. But then I realized that around the world, we all live in one society, capitalism.
Yeah.
That's certainly a society.
Did you know that Elon Musk's favorite movie of last year was Parasite?
That's hilarious.
You can't. Yeah. No, Elon. Bad Elon. You can't have this.
Yeah, and that's really true that like capitalism is like, I don't actually know if Attack on Titan deals with capitalism as much, even though that is kind of the root of a lot of the wars going on. Like they do mention that they went to war against Paradise Island because they are interested in their resources too. So it's always there, even when we're not looking. It's always there. But yeah, I mean, we got the post-credit scene where Reiner and the rest of the big boy crew, I don't know what to call them, they're thinking of doing a counterattack.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I don't know. I don't have anything to say about that. But...
I mean, it makes sense. Like, they got their ass beat. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
you got to retaliate. It's the only way when you live in a society. What else are you going to do?
The only thing I felt about it was just like Reiner's excuse to be able to go himself. And
I feel like Reiner may have something in his back pocket. Like he kind of wants to side with him. I feel like he's been very sympathetic towards it.
I was thinking that too because when they said traitor, the scene cut to Reiner's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Like,
actually,
we've been living among a traitor. Boom! It shows Reiner's eyes.
The imposter.
He's like, I can relate. I know how that feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that Reiner was the one who was like, we can't wait 6 months. We have to attack now.
Yeah. Here's my take, which is not serious, but take it as you will. Reiner realizes this is his best chance to die, so he is trying to get in on the action to get killed because Reiner just wants to die.
He realizes this is his last war.
It's his last attack on Titan.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I just love Reiner wanting to die so much. He's like, please just
kill
let
me.
Die.
Just do
I don't
it.
want to live in this world. He's like the clip of like, I no longer want to live in this world. I hate you all. Please let me die.
Actually, that's more accurate. I was thinking Palpatine from the last Star Wars movie from that trilogy. Who's like, kill me, kill me,
do it.
It was worth it just for you guys doing that voice.
That's every Titan when their 13 years are up. Strike me down.
Good.
Vor.
That's good.
For me.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it was an interesting episode. I'm glad you liked it more than last week's episode, Sinris.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait.
I didn't get to ask. Oh, go ahead, Panic.
Oh, I was. Well, that's a whole other topic. You wanted to ask something real quick?
No. We'll do your topic.
Yeah,
first.
your manga readers. I'm hearing rumblings and grumblings that this isn't gonna finish like where the manga has gotten to.
I've heard more grumbling. I've been obsessed with referring to Attack on Titan talk as grumbling ever since we like coined that phrase a couple weeks ago. I don't know what it is. It's not like it was clever then. It's not clever now, but I just love saying it.
Well, it's fitting because it's not like outrage. It's just like, God damn it.
Yeah, the grumbling.
The grumbling. So I did hear word on the street, and I do mean literal word on the street because it is
Someone stopped you on the street.
Someone stopped me on the street, no mask, and was like, Attack on Titan might get another season after this. They literally did that.
Shut the front door.
In 4K. Yeah. So I did hear from like a random account that they're in the works for another. They might pull a Gintama and do the final season.
The final season 2.
Because I have to refer to the Gintama situation because there were so many final seasons of Gintama that it became a running joke. And it works for Gintama, but with Attack on Titan, we don't expect that.
Owari Monogatari got a second season.
Yeah.
The end, too.
After End Story, there was End Story Season 2, and then there was Final End Story.
And then there was Zoku.
Yeah, so we might get a final end story for Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I've been seeing manga readers like since very soon after the season started saying like, yeah, there's no way they're actually going to finish in these 16 episodes.
Yeah, I think I know
But
where
it
it's
remains
gonna...
to be
Oh,
seen
yeah,
what they're actually going to do to finish it.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I know roughly about where they're going to finish it, and that would definitely not be satisfying. So I hope they do a good job of wrapping it up, and then we either get the sequel movie people have been referencing, or it's just another season entirely. I don't know which I would prefer, honestly. I'd be down with either, but I want a full adaptation. I think that's what we got to do. That's kind of what we need at this point. I mean,
yeah, but there's
I
no
can't
way
imagine
there won't be a full adaptation.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare if it was, and I cannot imagine that. And I heard everyone has said that there is going to be an announcement soon for an Attack on Titan project. So
okay,
it just seems so weird to me that they would call it the final season, and then be like surprised that they can't cover it all.
To me is probably movie.
Yeah.
Movie or final season core 2,
But it's like they started storyboarding the final season, like, oh, it's got to be the final season. I promise. It's got to be the whole thing. And then they get to this part.
And then Isayama's like, what if I went for like another year?
What if I...
Well, I remember I was looking back at old interviews, and he said something like, there's 5% of the series left. And that was said in like last June. And it's going to finish in April. I'm not sure if that's actually 5%. Like, I'm not sure if the math adds up. But it's always kind of like a case where the mangaka's like, yeah, guys, we're almost done. And then it's like another year goes by.
Well, he says 5%, but what is he? A mathematician? No.
Yeah.
He's an artist.
I mean,
Attack on math for me.
He calculated. He's been calculating it for like, I remember 5 years ago or something. Like, it was 2015. And I wanted to know how much was left. And he basically was calculating in 5 years it would be more or less done. He had like 20% left or something.
Was that Oda too? I feel well, Oda might be different.
Oda's made comics like this.
This was definitely Isayama. This was
yeah. Oh yeah, cool. Oh, yeah, so he wasn't too far off. I think the only mangaka I've seen who was like, guys, we're in the last arc and it's going to end soon, and like actually stuck with it, like on the timeline they said, was Furadate from Haikyuu. Like, I was hoping that they were full of it, like every other mangaka.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, we're done now. So I was like, damn it, we don't get Gintama again. But it's kind of like when you say goodnight on social media and then you stay up for another couple hours. That's how I feel whenever someone says that.
I gotta hop out. I gotta go to bed, and then 2 hours later.
All right, guys, for real now. I gotta go.
Yeah. And then I'm like, no, you're not gonna do it, because I'm not just going to bed. So I can see right.
No, you're not gonna finish the manga because I'm not ready. I want more.
Yeah, it's like, no, thank you. PK was saying he thought it was gonna end at like volume 20, and I forget what volume we're at. I think I should know this.
45. No, there is something nice though about a long-running manga, like knowing when to end. I feel like Demon Slayer did that, where it didn't like overstay the overstay its welcome. It's crazy that they did it. It makes no sense from a business perspective.
Because like
they should have
like the biggest thing in years.
It was like the biggest thing, and then they just ended right in the middle of being so fucking popular. They could have, he could have made so much more money.
I gotta give a ton of respect to creators.
Yes, that's crazy.
I'm impressed that they didn't, that Weekly Shonen Jump didn't like force them to keep going, because I know that they planned to end it before the anime became like the huge success.
Oh, they absolutely got calls. So there's no way someone didn't say, "But are you sure you have to stop?"
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason they had to stop was their parents got sick, so like they're at home like taking care of them. Like that was the main reason they had to do that.
But what's more important, family or money?
I think it seems like, and I hope it's true, that Shonen Jump has progressed a lot since the days when they like worked Togashi basically to death.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I think that is true, and I think there is also there's some like fan speculation on like the Death Note situation. I don't know how much you guys know about that. It's like,
not a lot.
So this is like pure speculation, like 100% speculation, but based on the story in Bakuman, which was made by the same creators afterwards, about essentially them in the manga industry, and it kind of details them from like fledglings to becoming huge success with like not Death Note in that story. They were kind of grappled with, do we continue the series on and become a success, which we're getting pressure to do, or do we end it where we want and have a certified masterpiece? And the way they end it in Bakuman is they end it on their terms and it becomes a masterpiece. But I think tangentially, I have speculated, as well as many others, that that's kind of what they wish they could have done in real life with Death Note instead of, having that second half. So I think there is that kind of pressure always for creators of like,
now that's
I worked so hard to get where I am
that's some good
now.
wish fulfillment. Media. It's
And
just,
it's like, and it is speculation. Like there could, for all I know, they could have been completely content with the decisions they made. But I think it is fair to say there was probably some pressure to continue on as the success because they also had the anime going on. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
But they're
And
still
I
gonna
actually,
make bank from Blu-rays. They're not gonna need money.
I actually remember when the Bakuman manga was still being serialized a long time ago, and I went to like a panel at like a convention for kind of like he's like a manga artist. His name is Felipe Smith, but he's one of the few like American born like manga artists that got like serialized in the Japanese like in the manga industry.
Oh wow.
And he was just like talking about his experience or whatever in the industry, and we were all asking him questions, and he's basically saying like over there it's like super normal to just be like totally sick, but you still have a deadline and they don't care, and you still have to work for it, and so you'll be like vomiting in like your trash can, and then you still like inking with the other hand, and that's just normal. So I had asked him about Bakuman, like, hey, so what about like Bakuman? It kind of shows you like working in the industry and all that stuff. And he's like, oh, that's just propaganda. They form of it, but it's not actually like that.
It's interesting because Bakuman doesn't really like glorify anything. Like they got like really tough in Bakuman where like one of the creators has like liver problems and they have to like bow out on one of their series that gets canceled because he's like in the hospital dying.
Yeah, but he basically, I guess from what he made it sound, and I don't remember if Bakuman did this. I don't think it did. Like, he basically like says like Bakuman softens it a bit. Like,
okay,
that's what he made it sound like, because like a little more idealized that your editors are so supportive and all that stuff. Because from what I heard, it's like even if you go to the hospital, your editor will not be calling about your health, but just about your deadline.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see what he means, because there was one part where the one guy he's still in high school and he goes to the hospital and they're like, hey dude, we're not going to let you keep publishing because you're in high school and we don't want you to die. So I could see him being like, no, in real life, they don't care. They want you to keep publishing. So
yeah, like your deadline's more important.
Yeah. And I just, you can't help but feel for mangaka after reading Bakuman, even if like 10% of Bakuman is realistic. It's got to be one of the most grueling industries to be in, like physically, mentally, emotionally. So, huge respect to mangaka. I don't know how they do it. Like, I can't draw in general, let alone
interns.
Can't do anything. And they're just killing it.
Now they're getting just a little, like, due to the whole Rona thing, like, they're getting a little bit of leeway. Like, Shonen Jump chapters are, like, publishing every other week. And maybe that's honestly how it should be.
Well, I wonder how much better it is to do monthly. Like, I wonder if monthly is less stressful in general. Because, Attack on Titan is a monthly magazine. So I was reading interviews, and it's like he spends the first week of the month storyboarding, then the next 3 weeks planning it out.
Who's a fucking boss when it comes to like getting his chapters out and doing all that stuff? Hiro Mashima, the fairy tale creator. I went to like a panel with him, and he was talking about his process, and he does like 17-hour days.
Oh my god!
Really, really fast at drawing and pumping his stuff out. So this was like at Comic-Con in New York, and so
I remember that panel. I didn't go to that, but I remember when that was happening.
Yeah, so he was saying like in order to come there, to like justify coming there, he had to do two chapters in advance, and he was working on his side manga. So he was putting in 17-hour days, and like and he got that all done before coming over.
That's wild. How do people do anything, let alone that?
How do people work?
And he was still playing a video game, by the way.
Dude,
well, that's what he's doing the remaining 7 hours.
It's built different.
Sleep is optional.
And Fairy Tail gets a lot of shit, but you got to respect the work ethic.
No, I respect that at least. He's a beast. Like he drew like a thing in like 2 minutes. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Like, is there anyone who has a manga they like that hasn't been like put on hiatus due to overwork or stress?
I think everything has gone on hiatus at some point, but
right.
I think the goal is to like be Kentaro Miura, where your thing gets so big that you can just like put out a chapter every 6 months, and people will be like, "Yes,
oh my god,
we got one." Yeah, Yeah, you got the like hiatus pantheon of like all the great series that people just get. They're just like, we just want one. We don't care. Just please give us one.
I remember not the most recent Berserk chapter, but the one before it. You know, they're releasing about once every 4 months.
Yeah.
And that one, it came out, I saw it, I was super excited. First off, the reason it takes me here so long is because its art is the best in the industry. Like, the amount of detail is insane.
Yeah.
That chapter had literally had 30 panels in it because it had like 6 double-page spreads.
Oh, I remember that one. That was a huge chapter, and that was like bonkers. That was
I think I saw some
shit.
pictures of that, and it's like, you
was
really
wild.
don't need to go this hard, dude.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's like the craziest shit. I don't know. I remember seeing that, and we're like, bro, like, calm down. Like, it's so funny when you read like Falcon of the Millennium Empire, and you just have like chapters full of those spreads, and you're like,
stop it.
You know, we were kind of content with whatever you were doing, but you like really didn't have to go this hard. We appreciate it, but like, you know, this is like actually going 110%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually like behind on Berserk. Like, I don't know what chapter it's on now. I think I stopped at 350. It's been a while. I'm letting it, you know, build up.
Over the next
Berserk
10
is
years.
on chapter 363.
Oh shit. Okay, so I haven't read 13.
So you
chapters.
haven't read it in like 4 years.
Yes, exactly. That's accurate. That's accurate.
Like,
So
you wait for a
another
decade,
4
and then you
years-
have like a handful of chapters to read. That's nice.
Yeah, I'll binge
Yeah.
it. Give me 10 years.
I guess I guess we should go back to Attack on Titan. I guess I was having fun with it, but tangentially,
so.
Attack on Titan. I think it'll be interesting because we got 2 more chapters left of the manga. You know, fingers crossed to all of you guys not getting spoiled. I will do my best, but you know, I'll do my best not to spoil you guys. I hope you guys don't get spoiled, but I think it'll be interesting and kind of exciting to experience the end of possibly the biggest series of the past decade. You know, I'm saying possibly. There's so many contenders for it, but I think it's really cool just how Attack on Titan was kind of there at the beginning of the decade, ushering in a lot of fans. Now it's kind of going beyond the decade and closing out the beginning of the next decade, you know, kind of as a send-off to like this new community that it kind of helped build in the beginning. I think it's kind of a cool story from like like from a meta contextual point of view to like the actual story.
Because Attack on Titan was just starting around the time I got into anime.
Yeah.
And now it's ending at the time when I'm getting out of it.
Started from the bottom.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Never. It'll never
ends,
happen.
I quit. All right, it's over.
Yeah. And I think it's just really cool. I think we all have like, I have fond memories of like before I got into anime, my friends and I, like, I remember seeing it on
Halcyon
Tumblr.
days before anime.
The day that, you know, the golden age, you know, before getting into anime, where I was like hanging out with my friends in college, and I remember seeing on Tumblr those gifs from the first opening of everyone jumping up, and it's like everyone when mom says it's time for dinner, and it's like everyone jumping up, like, you know, those stupid like gifs from back then.
That's
and
funny.
so I watched it like with a bunch of college friends, and we were all making fun of how Aaron kept having flashbacks to his mom getting eaten like for the
Lol.
first 5 episodes.
Hilarious.
Yeah, good times. And then like getting back into it like later on, just like so many fond memories of it. So
Attack
now
on
my
Titan abridged.
What?
Attack on Titan abridged.
Yeah, Attack on Titan abridged. I want to see the Attack on Titan Junior High. I bet that one's funny.
I have heard that that's actually good against all odds.
So we have another example of why Isekai Quartet is in the mud, and it'll be Attack on Titan Junior High. Sorry, it's not a podcast if I'm not taking a shot at that. But yeah, I guess I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Do you have any predictions that I will just respond interesting?
Yeah, is Zeke still interesting?
Zeke is still interesting.
Something going on with Zeke. Reiner either going full suicidal, want to launch counterattack to die, or to join them. I don't know. How about Gabi? I don't feel like I can call that one yet, if she's just gonna like double down on being an asshole. Or if she's gonna come around. I feel like there's probably still some lessons for her to learn on that.
Yeah.
Well, if they're actually going to that restaurant next episode, it's gonna be rough, I think.
Yeah. If they're going to Sasha's Steakhouse.
Honestly, I think Attack on Titan has now reached the point where, like, I don't think I could make predictions for it, you know?
Yeah.
It's become one of those series where I just have no idea what's going to happen.
In a good way.
Trying to guess
Yeah,
what the hell is the
I'm
point
in the same
of
boat.
Aaron patiently waiting in the cell. I was like, what is she waiting for?
Oh,
Yeah.
do you guys know about the hard call that I made at the beginning of this season about character deaths?
I forget what it was.
You
I remember you
predicted
saying
Connie
Sasha
would
wouldn't
die.
which I tried not
Yeah,
to laugh
I was
at.
like, all right, Connie has so much fucking red shirt energy. There's no way he survives this season. And I laid out some reasons why I thought that, and one of them was like he and Sasha are like the only two kind of just like everyman generic soldiers from the original squad who are left. And it's like, and they're not going to have the balls to kill Sasha, so it has to be Connie.
That was my favorite, and I was really laughing hard, trying not to give away what would happen because
a lot of people have said that to me since then.
I'm sorry, it was just so perfect because you're like, they don't have the balls to kill Sasha, and I'm thinking, well, why would they kill Connie? Who gives a shit about Connie?
I'm totally in the same boat as Sinris here. Like, I don't know, like, enough. I don't know. I feel like I can't speculate, but if like the only thing I could probably like something with Zeke, you know, something with Reiner, maybe Zeke and Levy going at it at some point, releasing the tension. But the only other thing, like, would it be poetic justice if everyone in that kind of in the cart or like Aaron told like you're all really important to me if they all died?
If they all died, if they all somehow
So, like-
become the other Titans that are going to come over from Marley now.
Do they even have enough? That would be interesting.
There's the
Would be
cart,
interesting.
there's armor.
So you're saying like OniMaru, you're saying like if like Aaron accomplishes his goal, but then it's like everyone dies in the process, kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
like Sasha was already one of them, you know. So what if like, you know, who else was there? Connie, Mikasa, Armin. He's already have a death sentence in a few years.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's a small group. It's hard to remember that it was like a larger group at first, but dropping like flies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be interesting, and it would definitely be poetic justice.
Because like the only other thing, it's like the way it's building up is either like, again, I don't know, but like it's gotta probably end with Aaron dying
Yeah.
or everyone around him dying.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, I have a
close.
really hard time
He-
seeing the series having like a good end at this point.
He's got to be cursed to
not in
live
terms of
forever
like
or
quality
something.
of the story, but in terms of like
Yeah.
finding a way to actually resolve the problems.
He'll maybe
Yeah.
he'll be like the
Conflict.
only survivor, but like encased in a crystal like Annie, like forced to look.
Ooh, that would
That'd
be
be
funny.
interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. It is interesting because I guess this is the one thing I don't have an answer to because it's not over yet, so I can't
guess so,
spoil
yeah.
anything.
I
But it is
actually-
interesting.
I do have
Oh,
a
no, go
question
ahead.
about that since you're a manga reader and like, you know, without if you can answer this without spoiling, because I've been kind of hearing a lot of grumbling about the last few chapters of the manga.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, everyone was kind of saying before, like, oh, you know, with the way Attack on Titan's going, like this might be a masterpiece. But with kind of the grumbling that's going on now, if it's not spoilery, do you think that claim, like it's kind of reversing that claim that it won't end up being a masterpiece in people's minds because of whatever's happening right now?
This is a great question, and I think I can answer this without spoiling. And I think a lot of this kind of has to deal with the current status of Attack on Titan in the fandom and community, and it's become put on such a high pedestal, and it is talking about so many like conflicting ideals, and it has so many different sides that I truly believe that no matter what happens, it is impossible for everyone to be happy with what happens. Like
That
there's
makes
just
sense.
no like there's just no way for everyone to be happy. And I've seen some complaints that come down to like the actual content versus the execution, which I understand, you know, always fair to I think a lot of the criticism for the execution is fair. I'm personally content with everything that's happened. I have like mini gripes here and there, but I think at least to me it can still end and be a masterpiece. But I know for some people that ship has kind of sailed, but I do believe that, you know, in all fairness, like to them, it's like totally fair for them to think this way. I think it was just put on such a high pedestal that it would never completely end in a way that wouldn't be controversial.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll depend. I think, you know, you guys will see the end of it at some point too. The anime might actually, you know, improve upon that content. We've seen that happen with Attack on Titan a lot, where the anime has elevated the content and made it a lot better, maybe rephrased it, recontextualized it in a way that works a bit better. So that could happen too. But I don't know, it's tough. I've also seen so many ongoing manga crash and burn that, like, even if Attack on Titan goes downhill a bit in the next 2 chapters, I don't think it can disappoint me worse than some of the experiences I've had with other manga. So maybe my expectations are just in the mud because I've been there before.
Would you say, like, do you have a feeling, like, from what you're saying, would it be more like possibly like a Code Geass R2 ending?
I think it could be like that. Yeah, I think it could be something on that. I think it could be on that level. I have my prediction, without revealing the content, is I think the last chapter is just going to be like a mind-blowing, completely recontextualize everything, going out with a bang chapter. I think, I don't know what the next one is going to be, but like when that will come out in March, but I think the February chapter will be like, everyone's going to be talking about it. I think it's going to change everything. So, yeah, that's just my prediction. The only reason I believe that one will be so great is because I know that Isayama has had the last panel planned out since like the inception of the series. So I feel like he knows like what the last chapter is going to be.
That's some king shit.
I always wonder with series that have like twists and shit, like at what point, like how far into the story were we when Isayama like figured out how it's going to end and everything? Or like all of the details in between, Like at what point did he come up with the names of all of the 9 Titans?
Yeah. Well, I feel like he kind of got better as he went along because Warhammer Titan is a lot better than Female Titan. So
yeah,
I think
that's true.
I think he improved a bit in terms of names, but
yeah.
But I do wonder too, because I think I'm excited for you guys to experience some of the stuff coming up. I think it'll be really exciting and it'll really show a lot of the planning and details that have been sewed along the way. A lot of the interesting.
It's not a great name, but isn't it Female Titan just because it's an anomaly? Like all the other Titans are like masculine coded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually the Female Titan that makes me wonder what point at which he like figured out all the lore for the series, because it's weird for that one to be an anomaly because all of the original Titans were women.
Were the original ones women?
Yeah, Ymir and her daughters were the original 9 Titans.
But like, were their Titan forms feminine or?
No, but then you have like Peak becomes the long-faced one, and that one doesn't look feminine at all.
This one is exceptional that it's female because like, there's not really any reason for that.
Cart Titan is not.
It's not like this is the only Titan that was a woman. They were all women, and this is the only one that had tits.
This one was like extra woman.
Like I get why the Paradise Island people would just call it the Female Titan. I don't get why Marley are calling it the Female Titan. Like they should have a more official name because that's their shit.
Half the Marlians called it the Female Titan.
I think they did because they had that like Call of Duty.
Because I was just thinking that maybe it has an actual other name that we just haven't heard.
Yeah, if it had another name, I kind of wish they had one. But I mean, Female Titan is close enough. Whatever. Like
the eternal question of what happens if a man eats the Female Titan.
That's what we were wondering. That was the true question we have.
He becomes the Female Titan.
He's a man inside a Female Titan body.
The other guys in the squad bully him. Oh, you're a girl.
As Tay said, attack
you
on the
cooties.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's a bit interesting, but it does seem like
to inherit the Female Titan.
Oh. Shit. Give it to Falco.
Give it to Reiner, he sucks anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Do you guys think, I mean, no pressure. I don't want to be that guy, but do you guys think you might pick up the manga at all or not, just writing it out to the end?
If there's going to be a considerable delay between whenever this ends and whenever the actual ending gets animated, then yeah.
Final ending. Okay.
So like if this ends on
whatever
equates to like chapter 116 and there's going to be like 120 or whatever chapters, then yes.
If it's like, in a year we'll release a movie in Japan and then we have to wait another year for it to get localized and shit, then
fuck that.
If it's like in 6 months we're putting out the end of the series, then I won't.
Makes sense.
But the manga is so. I mean, I tried to start the manga once, but the art is just like it's so fucking janky. And I was promised that it would get better, a little bit. There's people still have.
It is like it's really tough at the beginning.
People really still have like really weird, like crooked bodies, and perspective is kind of fucked.
Going off of that, actually, so I'm not gonna pick up the manga for 2 reasons, even if there's a delay.
First of all, I can't read.
If I've committed already to not pick up the Haikyuu manga until whenever it's fully animated and to experience it in all its animated glory, I can do the same thing because we're in the fucking final season. That's it. Attack on Titan final season. I can get closure at some point, confirmed. But also, secondary reason, I remember that I used to read the Attack on Titan manga, and I dropped off like completely. Like I just couldn't keep up with it during the Historia arc. Like I don't know how many years ago was that, and then I just never picked it up again. And then I watched it in season 3 in animated form, and it was just so easy to fly through, and it was just so good. And I was like, okay, this is the way to experience it.
Yeah. And I can confirm this is actually a good way to say that I feel like the staff at MAPPA has done a really great job with it. You know, expectations were in the mud. We thought the scheduling would be the death of them and like kind of ruin it. But like they've done such a good job. So I can't even say like, yeah, just go read the manga. Like we're getting good stuff anyway. So I think that's totally fair.
Yeah. And besides, I already have to pick up different manga now that Promise Neverland is
yeah.
Oh, we're gonna do an episode on that. We're gonna do
right now. Strap in for another 3 hours.
Starting right now. We already talked about Berserk. It's time to move on to the next.
Time to move forward.
No, I think we should. OniMaru, I don't know if you knew, but we had like a weekly series for the first Attack on Titan season. And
Neverland.
You mean the first Promise Neverland season?
Yeah. No, sorry, that was wrong. Yeah. So for the first Promise Neverland season, we did a weekly series on it, and people were like, are you guys going to do it again? And then instead we wanted to do Attack on Titan because it was more relevant and fun. So we had no idea that they would just fuck up Promise Neverland so severely.
It came out of fucking nowhere. Like the first season was great, and then it's just unprecedented.
I was so excited for the Promise Neverland season 2. It was like one of the, the sequels among all the sequels that I was watching this season, and we had watched the first episode. I think it was just the first and second episode or whatever.
Yeah.
And what was it? Oh yeah. So we would watch the first and second episode, and then I see Shocking tweeting about like how they ruined it. And then I was like, oh great, okay, no point now. And now I haven't even bothered to watch it because it's just been worse every week, and I'm like, oh god damn it. I was so excited
it really has just been worse every week.
I think we should hold a funeral once the season is over, and we'll say like in memorandum, the Promise Neverland season 2, and then we can go over all the ways they fucked up. I think that would be fun. Well, not really fun. It would be closure.
It's got to become a thing like the live action Avatar movie where people are just like, what movie? That never happened.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to do that where someone was like, what's the best like one core series since Ping Pong? And I was like, Promise Neverland. Good thing we never got a second season for that, which does not exist. But yeah, we'll hold a funeral. I think that would be kind of funny and fun. And, it's our way of doing Promise Never weekly, but it's like Promise Never canceled.
If you do it for the background of the stream, you should have like a funeral pyre just like animating the whole time. Can
we get the CGI fire that people always roast with like
the one from Golden Kamuy?
Yeah, let's get the Golden Kamuy CGI fire that everyone hates.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Have it in the background and have like some like low-key somber music playing in the background while you guys talk.
Yeah.
We could find one if they have like a Promise Neverland, like Isabella's Lullaby, like slowed reverb, like one of those.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so we can do that. The roast of Promise Neverland season 2. But yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else on Attack on Titan. We have a lot on other series, but I feel like that's pretty much all I have for this. Yeah. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to mention about like this episode or the season as a whole?
It's good.
I'm gonna say I've been thinking about it this whole time. I'm gonna say this is my favorite episode of the season.
Really?
Which might make it my favorite episode of Attack on Titan to date.
Wow. Okay.
That's high praise.
That's a good kind of like end question for everyone. Like, what is your favorite episode of this season thus far, and how does that compare to other favorite episodes of Attack on Titan?
Yeah. Well, let me elaborate on my thought then, if we're making something out of it.
Please.
Because this episode is very good in a way that's different from how most Attack on Titan episodes are good, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that makes it hard to compare against other favorites, because this is the first time there's been an Attack on Titan episode that's been like fully just like non-action, like character focused, that has really, really been like 10 out of 10 episode for me. Probably all of the other times I've been like, this was such a fucking sick Attack on Titan episode, it's because something like extremely cool happened, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a hard comparison to make. But if it's not this one, then it's like one of the episodes during the final fight against like the Beast Titan and the Colossal Titan and the end of season 3. But the other thing is that so many of the like action scenes are spread out across like a large number of chapters, so it's hard to pick a specific one. So I don't know. I think this is probably the one individual episode that I think has been my favorite of the series.
I'm always a fan of when series like have such a standout episode that is so different from what they're normally used to. Like my favorite, one of my favorite episodes, I'd say like top 1 or 2 is like, in Hunter x Hunter episode 116, a series that's mostly known for like action adventure fight scenes, and it's just a conversation. So
which is that one of the
that's when like Dawn confronts Pito and she's like,
it's that one.
Yeah, that big one. So I feel the same way, where I'm like, I think it's always cool when like your favorite episode of something that's normally known for one thing is completely different. And that's kind of like, I totally get those vibes from this episode too. So respect.
Cool.
That's actually one of my favorite episodes from Hunter x Hunter.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
We love to hear.
I thought that was going to be one of the like Meruem like chess episodes.
No, that would be a good pick too, but I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one just a bit more for, it's like really tense, atmospheric, and like intense conversation. And it's always fun to point out, like, there's absolutely no fighting in the scene, and it's just as gripping, if not more than all of the fighting episodes. So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, like now that you mentioned that, be like gripping, just being a conversation, then I would say that one episode, I think it was 3, 4, with Eren confronting Reiner, and just the tension building up in that whole episode. That one was really, really good. I'd put that up there, but I don't know if it was my favorite. The buildup was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think my favorite was Assassin's Bullet. I think the one where everything went down. Eren ate the Warhammer. Everything. It was their victory, and then Sasha died at the end, and all of that. And then this one was really, really good for a non-action episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I think those were like definitely the big standout episodes thus far. I mean, we've had a lot of standout episodes thus far, so it's a bit hard to say like, it's like one of the few. Like most of them have been pretty standout.
Yeah, I feel like my favorite is probably the one where they talk in the basement, like just so tense. Yeah. It's great, culminating in the big attack at the end. Well, like really that and the next one together, it's a package deal. Those are 1 and 2,
and that's why I'm pointing to this one as my favorite, because so many of the other episodes are like part of a good arc, and they all just like blend together into one like huge multiple hour long scene.
But this is also like the first time in Attack on Titan where I can like, I'm thinking back on previous seasons and I was like, what's my favorite episode? I don't remember what happened like in a specific episode. Like I remember events, but I don't remember the rest of that episode.
The only episode I think from a previous season that stands out to me, like you're saying, like not just as part of 5 episodes where something was happening, was I think the episode where Berthold got his when he got eaten by Armin.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's also a really good one.
I think there's two season 3.5 episodes that are like, I remember because they were memorable, but also they're like ranked high on IMDb, and it's it's like the one where Erwin dies, and then the one where they have the Serum Bowl, which is where they choose Armin. That episode, I think that's called Midnight Sun.
Oh, okay, yeah. That one's...
Yeah, I think the one where Erwin dies is probably my favorite action episode.
Yeah, that's
So it's between that and this for my favorite episodes.
His speech was insane.
Yeah.
That was a wild episode. It was cool because like rewatching it recently and seeing it, like knowing that was gonna happen, it's so cool because I know people have had criticisms for Attack on Titan season 3.5 as an adaptation, but I don't really care. So I think like in that section, it's kind of like peak traditional Attack on Titan at its best. You know, like the whole super action-packed, super intense, super gripping. Those episodes go by really quickly, but they also manage to have a lot of good character work in them, especially for, you know, the themes of humanity's survival as a whole. But that's also kind of why I like this current arc and everything that's happened in season 4 so much, because I feel like it's almost like everything up until now was like act 1, and now we're in act 2. It's almost just like completely different in such a good way that I really appreciate how it's changed so much.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. So it's almost like you got traditional Attack on Titan and like postmodern Attack on Titan. But,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if I have a favorite thus far. I mean, I like all the episodes you mentioned, and this might be, I don't think this is my favorite episode, but one I wanted to call out is I really do like Reiner's flashback episode. I don't know what it is, but it's just like seeing Reiner's flashback of like all the events from his point of view and how he's just so distraught and he's about to kill himself and he just keeps moving forward. I thought that was really well done. And even though some people had an issue with how rushed it was, I kind of like how it was rushed in a way that made it feel like he was spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kill me.
Kill me. Please, I just want to die. Please.
Shut up and just let me die. Why do you have to be so noisy?
Yeah.
That was great. Like he's just in the Titan, and they're just like shouting for him. He's like, oh, all right.
God,
okay.
do I have to do fuck? Okay, fuck it.
And then,
We're doing it live.
and then Gabby like just gets louder and just louder. Like,
You fucking kids.
These damn kids. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty fun. Good times
Good
with Attack on
times.
Titan.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was fun. I think I had a great time talking with you guys. I feel like we got to talk about so much and cover so much of the series, even just beyond this episode. So I appreciate you guys all joining me, especially pretty last minute, just joining on, hanging out with the crew. So, thank you guys, and thank you everyone for listening in. We hope you had as much fun as we did. So thank you, Sinris, Panic. Thank you for joining us again, OniMaru. We always appreciate having you. So yeah, I mean, that's all I got. If you guys wanted to say any last remarks.
Watch the VOD for our anime awards. If you want to
Watch.
see some appearances from... I was on early, and then the best skit ever from Tay and Sha.
It was very
presenting
cringy.
the best cast award. That was epic.
It was something. We came up with it. We came up with it live, and we brought the cringe. Everything was going too smoothly,
It's like
so we had to mess it up.
10,000% cringe. It was great.
We always have to up our cringe. So if you guys are interested in seeing an awards after, we got the Crunchyroll Awards Friday, and then we did our Anime Awards Saturday. We have a VOD of that. We can link that in the description.
Yes.
But yeah, we had fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for having me, guys. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for
And
doing
I
it.
hope Attack on Titan, continues to be awesome until the end of this season. And should I read the Promised Neverland manga now that it's officially dead? Let me know.
Yes.
I think it's a yes.
I'll go in the comments. Let 'em
From
know.
the people who like the series, it sounds like a yes.
Okay, I'll pick up that manga.
Yeah.
And to everyone in the chat, watch Wonder Egg Priority.
Oh, yes.
Go full egg. Everyone go full egg.
Who's
Where?
not watching it? Everyone's watching it.
That's
They
a good
better be. It's the best show of the season.
That's the homework for you guys for next week, because we'll be back next week, same time.
That's
5
homework.
p.m.
We'll check in on you.
We'll check in.
Yeah.
Let us know how many
By the
Wonder
time of our next weekly stream, you better have your book report on Wonder Egg Priority done.
Next week is egg time.
Everything is egg time.
Get your eggs in a row.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was another fun time. We will see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Yeah, see y'all later.
See you guys.